Hey everyone, Andrew Stormer here, and welcome back to another computer tutorial, and today we're talking mice. If you're a gamer, the mouse you choose really matters, and if you're a video editor, you might want like extra buttons or something for different keybinds, and so that's what we're talking today. What mouse is best for you? So we're back on PC Part Picker for a little bit of this episode, and the first thing here is tracking method. And now trackball is something like this, and I don't like these at all because you control where it is with your thumb, and I don't like them. Touchpad are like this, like a laptop trackpad, and if you're building your own PC, I wouldn't use one of those. I'd get a regular mouse. But some people do like them, and I know lots of Macs use them. So maybe if you're coming over from a Mac to PC, you'd like one of those. But for me personally, I use it on my laptop, but that's it. I use a regular mouse for my PC. If you're older than me, you remember those mice that in the bottom they had the little ball in it, and when you moved it around, the ball rolled around, and that's an option for you if you want it, but I don't know why on earth you would want one, and it's not an option in here, but you can still buy them. What I get is an optical or a laser. I have an optical one that's like this. It has a little LED in here that it tracks, but then the lasers is, instead of an LED, it's a lasers. It's just a super tiny little laser thing instead of a light that it tracks. And with an optical or a laser mouse has DPI, which is dots per inch. And this is your sensitivity. Nowhere in there is right or wrong. It's just your preference. It's how sensitive it's gonna be. So if you get something with 24,000, which is just insane, that would be super sensitive when a 400 wouldn't be. And so that's just preference. And then there are other ways to change your sensitivity without going through like software or your computer that I'll talk about in a minute. Connection type, you can get wired or wireless or Bluetooth wireless if you want, but I like my wired. I don't find it pulling on my mouse or having any issues with it. I think it's more of an issue when you run out of batteries in your wireless mouse. So, I mean, but some people do like their wireless, and that's fine. Hand orientation. I kind of like my symmetrical mice, which would be both, but I use my mouse right-handed, so I could get away with right-handed. But you can get whatever you want. If Razer a few years ago, they made this mouse that was all three. It's this one right here. It has this weird name, but you can actually customize it, and like different pieces of it like move around and stuff, and you can like take pieces off and stuff. So it could be a right-handed, it could be a left-handed, or it could be both. It's kind of cool. So that's another option. Another weird mouse that you could get is something like this. It's a vertical mouse, so it's like take your mouse and then you like turn it sideways like this, and you're moving this way instead of this way. It's vertical. So if you have like, is it a carpal tunnel, I think, whatever your wrist, when you have issues there, you could get a vertical mouse because it has your bones aligned more naturally, and you can do it like this. But I've tried one actually, and it's really weird. Now I've heard you get used to it after a couple weeks, but I don't know, when you're trying to make precise movements and stuff, I think you have more control this way, but I don't know. Now, what mouse is right for you? Razer back in the day had this image right here, and a few more, but we're just gonna go over this one, of a couple different ways that people use a mouse. And one is palm, which is like all the way. It's all your fingers on it and fully on it, your palms on it. Claw, which is like this almost. It's kind of weird. And so that's like your fingertips and like the back of your palm. And then you have fingertips, which your palm never touches. And then they also have like the arches, so different arches of your mouse that fit with like how your hand works and stuff. I don't know, you can mess with it yourself. If you wanted to look into it too, you can also have like the distance of your mouse, like how high and how long it is. You can make it shape your hand or not. Some people, they also like dragging their mouses like way across their desk, and then some people, they do this lift off thing. And I actually do the lift off thing. So when you're scrolling, you do this instead of just whoop. So you kind of just move little movements a bunch. It's all about preference. It's just what you like to use, how you use a mouse, and what's gonna work best for you and what you do. Some mice also have lights on them, and some can even be like RGB. Mice with buttons on them. This is just an example. It's the Razer Naga, and it has 12 buttons on the side here that you can press with your thumb. And on top, right behind the scroll wheel, there's also another 2 buttons. So you can program all those if you want. Other mice though have other different buttons, like there's a different Razer mouse that has 2 buttons on the side instead of 12. And then Razer also makes a mouse with a circle of buttons instead of just the numpad looking sort of thing. And now for mouse pads. Mouse pads matter. You need to have a good mouse pad. A mouse pad at all is better than no mouse pad. And now you can get like super specific in your mouse pad. So I'm just on this random Amazon page of one of the Razer mouse pads. And first there's different sizes. You can see there's the small, which is 8 to 10 inches about. There's the medium, the large, and then there's the extended. The extended's like this, where you can put your keyboard on your mouse pad, and then you have this big mouse pad off to the side for your mouse. I think it's kind of cool, but I probably wouldn't get one. I just like a small mouse pad personally. You can also get mouse pads with a little cushion, a wrist rest on there, so you can rest your wrist back here and then move your mouse around. And I don't know, that's what I have right now. There's soft mouse pads and there's hard mouse pads. The soft ones you can roll up and use them, carry them around. They can be portable, or you can just use them normally. And then there's the hard mouse pads, which is just like a flat, hard surface. And now some of them are just like plastic on top, but some of them are a hard piece, so you can't bend it, but it has a soft top, so you kind of get that comfort or a different surface that you want. Surfaces can change your sensitivity. So if you look here, you have a speed one, and those are super slick. They have like no friction, so your mouse can just go like all across it super easily. And then there's the control ones, which have a little bit more resistance. Your mouse moves slower around, so you can make more pinpoint movements of your mouse. One place you might want this is in Photoshop when you're editing a picture and you're like rotoscoping something or painting something in. You might want some more control over it and slower movements and less sensitivity to any sort of movement. So I know some people love the high DPI, the speed mouse pads, the super sensitive, move all over FPS gaming. I'm gonna 720 no scope someone, just move it right across the entire table. There's people like me who just like the little mouse pad with control, resistance, comfort, and just moving it around a little bit. So, but I still game on it. I don't do like super fast movements or anything in an FPS game, but I can still spin around pretty quick. I might have to pick my mouse up once, but it's still pretty quick for me. That's just how I learned to use a mouse, and I just continue to do that. So there's all kinds of options. It's just preference, and maybe this can help you learn about all the different types of options out there for you to choose from. That's gonna do it for this one, so thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.